You know, one of the things that you can do with supply chain management to get the greatest benefit, if you're not already doing it, is implementing sales and operations planning, also known as S&OP. Hi, this is Rob O'Byrne, and today I've got one of our gurus on sales and operations planning, Stephen Thacker. So thanks for coming along.
Rob, my pleasure.
And I thought I'd get Stephen along for a bit of an interview and to really ask the question, what is S&OP all about? And really just in a very short video, give us the essence of what it is. So, I mean, one of the first questions is obviously, what is S&OP?
Very good. Thank you, Rob. One of the key dramas with S&OP is that there's too much confusion about what people think that it is. And they think that it might be software or it might be something quite convoluted and complex. It's structured and it's rigid, but in essence, S&OP is just a process. It's a very clever process and it's a well-proven process, but it's a process by which organisations govern and more particularly plan their future.
Okay, that's good. I mean, I often say to people it's almost a communication process because it's really cross-functional, isn't it?
It's absolutely cross-functional. You can't assume that S&OP is a supply chain issue. It's not driven by supply chain. It's a whole of business where everybody effectively gets on the same page with one set of numbers and drives a business forward with an agreed plan that everybody's sticking to. Marketing, sales, procurement, everybody in the entire business is all on the one page.
Okay, so if that's what it is, what isn't it?
Very good. So very often people think that it's about software or it's about something else to do with supporting infrastructure, and it's just simply not. The key essence of it is designing a process by which everybody in the business contributes to a single plan which escalates through the business to the CEO. So in essence, it's bottom driven and driven up. It's not the top driven down. It's a plan by which the CEO can guide his business, not something that everybody's messing around with and working on their own plans.
Okay, so I mean, if people are watching this and thinking, do we need to do S&OP, why do businesses do it?
The reason businesses do it is because in order to get to a certain destination, the analogy is like jumping on a jumbo jet and charting a course to a certain destination. Everybody's got to be agreed on what the destination is, but the pilot is the one that's charged with getting the whole plane and safely the passengers there, and supporting him are a whole team of other people. But unless they're all on the same page and making changes along the way, as winds change, as weather changes, as traffic congestion changes, sometimes you could end up with everybody thinking we're ending up in different locations and different, and that happens in business. If you go and do surveys of business executives and you ask them about the destination of the business and how to get there, you get all kinds of different ideas. S&OP aggregates those and consolidates those. One plan, everybody on the same plan.
Yeah, I like that aeroplane analogy. So if that's why we should be doing it, what are some of the key benefits that you've seen?
So the real key benefits in an organisation are almost textbook, and they are a reduction of inventory coupled with better customer service. And better customer service usually means to increase growth, so there's an association there. And the other thing, which is kind of intangible, so those you can measure, but the intangible benefit is that the working environment is significantly different. There's not as much tension, there's not as much stress. People are working together more evenly in the business, and it's noticeable.
And are there some symptoms that people could look out for? You know, the typical signs that would indicate S&OP is a requirement?
Typically, yes, you'll find things like high inventory or poor customer service or departments not working together and departments working off their own spreadsheets out in the corner somewhere, not an integrated plan, and a business that's finding it difficult to be responsive to a dynamic environment where things are changing very quickly are usually symptoms that you'll notice.
I mean, I've worked with a lot of businesses over the years where they have, you know, inventories blowing out, they've got a lot of slow and obsolete moving stock. Is that a fairly typical symptom?
Yeah, very much so, very much so, yep.
Okay. So what do you think are some of the critical success factors for getting it right?
So there are a couple, and there are two fundamentals. And number one, from our experience, and from lots of others throughout the world that issue material on this stuff, the number one key success factor is getting the head of the business to agree that this is the way that the business needs to be run. Yeah. And the second one that runs along with that is having, I keep saying this, but one set of numbers. Everybody has agreed that this is how we're going to do business. They're the two. They're the top two.
So if people are watching this and they're thinking, well, you know, we maybe ought to embark on an S&OP program, what's involved in doing that? Do you just jump in and buy a system, and it's not about systems, is it?
And that's the key message. It's not about systems. It's about understanding that it's a process. You know what, Rob? Not every business is ready for it today. And too many think that it's flavour of the month, or somebody else is doing it and we should, and let's launch into it. And inevitably it fails. And the reason that it fails is because they don't understand the quite significant time and effort that's required to do this properly. So before you embark on this, for goodness sake, get somebody to assess whether you're ready and to tailor a plan to make it work for the peculiarities of your business.
Okay. And does it suit any particular size of business? I mean, is this something that's really just for big businesses, you know, 500 million plus turnover, or is it something that smaller businesses should do as well?
This is for every business in terms of size, and it doesn't matter whether you're a distributor or a manufacturer or an importer or even a service business. Okay. It still works.
Okay. Well, that was S&OP in a nutshell. I think we need to talk a lot more about this, and we'll maybe produce some more material and videos, because it's quite an in-depth topic, certainly. But hopefully that's given you an insight into what it is. So, Stephen, thanks for your time for explaining it.
No problem. Pleasure. Thanks, Rob.